Hi, parents and therapists. Let's talk about verbal behavior. When you're working with a child who is not verbal and doesn't really say any words, maybe some of them will be able to make some sounds, and some may not be making any sounds. It's important to be consistent with your training. So usually when a kid is unable to say anything, we start with echoic training and manding. And echoic training is simply that you say sounds and try to have the child repeat them. So you're modeling certain sounds in every session or every day. It's very important that you be consistent in terms of saying the same sounds every time you're doing the training. You don't want to just, pick random sounds every time you're doing the training to see if the kid will repeat it. Think of a baby who is not talking, of course, and is still, storing words and hearing a lot of words before they start speaking. We do not say, oh, let me not talk to this baby because babies don't talk. We still talk to babies and we sing for them. We interact with them on like daily basis. We're always talking to babies. So think of this child who's nonverbal as somebody who is still gaining all this information in, and at some point, hopefully, they'll start speaking. So it's a matter of, time. Some kids don't speak, and then they will use a communicative device, but a lot of kids with verbal behavior training do speak. You just have to understand that consistency is very important. And the same thing when you're working on manding. So say you're giving the child as an enforcer every time he points at a bag of chips, you give them one. You want to say the word chips for them, or chip, every time they point at it. You don't want to change the words. You cannot say one time chips and the other time more and the third time please and fourth time this. You're really not helping the child learn and have this repertoire of words, because you're using a different word every time when you refer to the bag of chips, which is really confusing to a child who is delayed in speech or language in general. So you want to also refer to the chips as chips every time the child requested, or every time is trying to get you to give him some, because some kids still, may also not be able to point. They may be taking your hand to, to get them the chips, or they may be trying to grab the bag. So it's very important to use the same word every time you're referring to the bag of chips. So remember these two things. You are going to be training a child on saying specific sounds, so then later you can shape them into words. So when you start with the sounds, you have to do the same sounds every day. Remember not to put the sound within a sentence. You cannot say, "Hey John, can you say shh?" Well, that's a very long sentence. You don't know what you want from them. What you need to do is to make sure the child is sitting across from you. They can see your face and your lips, and you say shh, shh. Okay, so you're modeling the word, but you're not putting in a very long sentence. When you say, "Oh, John, please say shh," that's very long for them. It's very difficult for them. Same thing with the chips. You cannot say, "Oh, you want chips? I'll give you chips." These are two sentences right there that you do not need to say. What you are trying to do is associate the word chips with the bag of chips. You can hold the bag up and say chips, and then give him one. Every time you give him a chip, say it. You do not want to say a long sentence, or, "Oh, you want more? I'll give you more chips." You really want to just stick to the one word, chips, or whatever word you're using, of course. So Again, be patient. Don't say, oh, this kid is not talking and not repeating the sounds I am, modeling for him or her, so I'm not gonna do it. It's useless. It's a waste of time. No, consistency is really what works with kids who are delayed in speech. You just have to be patient. You have to keep doing it over and over and over again. It might be redundant. You may feel that it's just a waste of time or energy, or the session is being wasted. But no, it's not. It's very important to also match words with pictures or items in the environment. It's much easier when you're, teaching a child a word that they can associate it with a picture or an item. So then when they want this item, they'll be able to remember the word. Be consistent, use a lot of visuals, be consistent with the words you're using every session. Do not refer to one thing with more than one name. Even if you're trying to teach the word more, maybe you can use it in a different, with a different program or setting, or maybe when the kid is getting something else, you can use more. But try to use the words of the items instead of words such as please or more, because then you don't want the child to only use the word more for all the things they're requesting. You want them to call the things with their names. Choose a couple of things every session to say every session. So the first week, you want to only work on 2 to 3 words. Of course, it depends on the child, but do not change the words every day. So don't say, today I'm going to work on chips and more, and tomorrow I'm going to work on ball and bottle. No, you want to be consistent for at least a week or two with the same words. Of course, if it happens that the kid tries to get something else, you can say the item's name, but do not repeat it every time you are focusing on different words. So you can add it to your program later,